is also in other part of the countries, and we have a brother visitor from New Zealand. He's a unionist. His name is Mike Treen, and he's gonna give us a little bit of a view of where is the labor movement in New Zealand. And after he finished speaking, there's gonna be some time for you to ask questions to Brother Mike. So, brother, come over here.
Thank you very much. My union's called Unite Union in New Zealand. We've only existed for about 10 years, and we were formed at the end of a terrible period for workers in New Zealand, where they took the union out of many industries, like the we used to be there, but in the hotel industry, in the fast food industry, in security, in casinos, call centers, and many others. They just gutted the union movement. It went from half the workforce down to 20%, and then in the private sector, like here, down to less than 10% of workers being in unions. At the same time, they took away the conditions that were traditional in the industry. They took away time and a half for weekend work. They took away time and a half for overtime work. You had no guaranteed hours when you started work. You start work, you might work 4 hours, might work 6 hours, might work 8 hours. They stopped paying you after whatever they rostered you for. Even if they stopped paying you, even if you hadn't finished the rooms, and you had to continue working essentially unpaid to finish the rooms. And that's what it's like without a union. Now, I know you guys have got a union. That's the first step, the most important step, and we've been trying to rebuild that in New Zealand. So we've gone from a situation 10 years ago where there were only 3 hotels in the entire country that had a union agreement in New Zealand, to now most of the major hotels, and there are many of them the same as people here working for, the Hilton and so on, that many of these Hyatt, that we now have a foothold in all of these major hotels, and we're starting to push back on getting protections put in place for the workers and getting a union contract. But I'm actually in this country with a little bit more of a good news story, where New Zealand has been a little bit ahead of the rest of the world. 10 years ago, we also started organising fast food workers in New Zealand. And we've become one of the only countries in the world to have done this, and we did it through fighting them tooth and nails. McDonald's is no different in New Zealand than it is in the United States. KFC is no different in New Zealand than it is in the United States. They hate unions, they fight them tooth and nail, but we fought back, and we now have 3,500 fast food members in New Zealand. There's a country of 4 million people, let's remember that. 3,500 fast food members, and collective agreements at KFC, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Carl's Jr., all of the major fast food chains. We have union collective agreements with protections for breaks, so make sure you get your breaks, make sure that you get your rosters a week in advance, so make sure, simple things, but that you can only get through a union contract. The other good story, and it fits into what the political side of things, and some of the political campaigns that we need to do and unions need to get involved in, is that we fought for a major increase in the minimum wage in New Zealand. And we shifted the minimum wage from less than 1/3 of the average wage to now it's half the average wage. The minimum wage in New Zealand is $14.25 an hour. And our dollar is not that much different from your dollar, right? So $14.25 an hour. We took it when we started our campaign 10 years ago from $9 an hour for adults and $7.20 an hour for 16 to 19-year-olds, to now it's in the industries we represent at least $14.25 starting rate, minimum wage for all workers, however old you are. So 16-year-olds get the same starting rate, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds as the adult rate in the industries we represent. So we fought for stable hours, we fought for a major increase in the minimum wage, we fought for the protection of our breaks, and we fought for the end of youth rates in these industries, and we won a significant advance in all of those areas. So that's important because they tell you they can't afford it, Well, all while we were doing that, they were expanding their operations in New Zealand. They were opening new stores. They can afford an awful lot more than what they're paying in all of these industries, in the hotel industries, in the fast food industries. They're worldwide corporations, and they do it differently in different countries. So I'll finish off with two figures, right? In New Zealand, $14.25 and our minimum wage, but the Big Mac cheaper in New Zealand than it is in the United States, even if you do the conversions, right? So they're paying $8 here, generally for workers in the fast food industry, but $14.25. Danish workers get $21 an hour and a 40-hour a week in McDonald's, right? So they've got a union contract, $21 an hour, a 40-hour week, and their Big Mac is cheaper than it is here. Right? So it's all lies. It's all lies what they tell us. They can afford it, we have a right to it, and we can get it by fighting for it. Cheers.
So, do you have any question for brother here? So that's a great presentation. Question? Yes, Darren.
Are some cities more unionized than others?
So are some cities more unionized than others?
Not that much, although there's 4 million people, and one city where I'm from, Auckland has 1 million, or over 1 million, so a quarter of the population is in the main city. So the labour movement is very much led and centred from Auckland City, I think. The other cities are significantly smaller, maybe a third. The other main cities are about a third of the size. But we have national contracts, so it's with these companies here.
Any other questions?
So I'm curious, I don't know if I missed it or not, how did you achieve your goals in getting the minimum wage, building the union? Did you have parades and picnics and parties, or did you pay off a politician? How did you do it?
We did it by fighting. We had one legal advantage that was particular to New Zealand, which is they gave a legal right of access to the workplace for the purpose of recruitment. When we started Unite, as I said, only 10 years ago, we've gone from 0 to 7,000 financial members, half of them in the fast food industry, good number in hotel and so on. We used that quite aggressively, that legal right of access. But what we discovered at the beginning was we could actually recruit a worker. These young workers, never seen a union before, never knew anything. We could actually recruit them with a 5-minute conversation. Right? Sort of obvious. The boss treats you like shit, yeah. Are you going to fix it on your own? No. Think we should stick together, yeah. The union does that. What's a union? Didn't know. What's a union? No, well, we all stick together. Oh, good idea.